For months, fans across the world were filled with curiosity, excitement, and a strange sense of mystery. Every time Taehyung appeared at the airport, something felt unusual. His quiet expressions, his soft smiles, his thoughtful eyes. Everything hinted at something deeper happening behind the scenes. Fans kept asking the same questions again and again. Why was Taehyung secretly flying to Los Angeles? Why was HYBE so silent? Why did everything feel like the calm before an emotional storm? Behind every appearance, behind every whispered rumor, behind every blurry photo taken from a distance, there was a hidden story. A story that Taehyung kept close to his heart. A story he didn't explain, not to the media, not to the industry, and not even to the millions of fans who adore him around the world. But sometimes silence speaks louder than words. And this silence was building towards something special. Something emotional. Something unforgettable. No one knew it back then. But Taehyung's secret LA project would become one of the most meaningful chapters of his artistic journey. Today, that story finally comes to light. Today, we uncover what Taehyung was doing in Los Angeles. Away from the spotlight, away from the noise, and away from everything that people thought they already understood about him. It all began with a rumor, just a small spark. A fan saw him boarding a late-night flight. Someone else spotted him in a quiet corner of the Incheon airport, wearing a mask, a hat, and an expression that looked peaceful but intense at the same time. Then came a blurry picture from Los Angeles. Shadow, silhouette, a shape that looked unmistakably like him. Slowly, the fandom began connecting the dots. Taehyung wasn't just traveling for rest. He wasn't on a casual trip. He wasn't vacationing. Something bigger was unfolding right in front of their eyes. To understand why this moment matters so much, you must first understand Taehyung. Taehyung is not someone who creates only when he is asked to. He creates because he feels. He creates because his heart speaks to him in ways that are difficult to explain. He creates because art is not a part of him. It is him. From the beginning of his career, Taehyung has always been different. He looks at the world through emotions instead of words. Colors, movement, sunshine, shadows, music. All of these things live inside him like memories that refuse to fade. He has always been someone who feels deeply, sometimes more than he wants to. And that depth becomes the fuel behind everything he does. He once said, "I want my art to speak for me." And when you look closely at him, it truly does. But this LA project was different. It wasn't just about art. It was about expressing a part of himself that he had never fully revealed before. Los Angeles became the center of this hidden journey. City of stars, lights, dreams, and stories. A city where artists go to rediscover themselves, reshape their identity, and reconnect with their inner world. For Taehyung, it wasn't just a location on a map. It was a blank canvas waiting to be painted with honesty, emotion, and vulnerability. He arrived quietly, without any official announcement, without media coverage, and without giving fans even the slightest hint of what he was working on. HYBE remained silent, almost protective. It was clear they knew how important this project was for him. Inside a luxury fashion studio in Los Angeles, Taehyung began a collaboration that no one had expected. A partnership with a brand known not just for fashion, but for cinematic storytelling. A brand that doesn't create clothes. They create experiences, moments, emotions, narratives that stay with you long after you've taken the clothes off. This project wasn't just a photo shoot. It wasn't a simple endorsement deal. It wasn't a magazine feature. It was something personal, something artistic, something that belonged to Taehyung, and Taehyung alone. He walked into the studio with a quiet kind of confidence. Not loud, not flashy, not dramatic, just calm, focused, and beautifully grounded. He didn't need a large team behind him. He didn't need heavy lighting or extravagant sets. All he needed was space. Space to breathe, space to feel, and space to create. Inside the studio, the atmosphere shifted. The moment he stepped in, the room felt different. There was softness in the air, warmth, a sense of presence. Taehyung carries that kind of energy naturally. His calm becomes the calm of everyone around him. His thoughtfulness becomes the guiding direction of the entire room. He worked closely with the designers, photographers, and creative directors. He didn't just pose, he participated. He didn't just wear clothes, he brought them to life. He didn't just follow instructions. He shaped the entire mood of the project. Every shot had emotion. Every frame had a story. Every movement felt like a piece of his heart. But behind this beauty, there was also a weight he was carrying. Something unspoken. Something quiet but heavy. During this period, Taehyung missed the members deeply. Even when they were busy with their own schedules, their own projects, and their own paths, the bond between them remained unbreakable. But distance is still distance. And during emotional moments like these, the absence becomes louder than the presence. There were days when Taehyung stayed alone in the studio even after the team had left. He would sit quietly, looking at the mood board, running his fingers gently over the fabric, thinking deeply about the story he wanted to tell. His emotions became the language of this project. His silence became the script. His heart became the message. Sometimes he stayed late into the night. The lights in the studio reflected gently in his eyes as he worked through each detail with care and dedication. He didn't rush. He didn't force anything. He allowed the story to unfold naturally, like a song that writes itself when the emotion is real. Even though he was physically alone, he was never emotionally alone. The BTS members were always with him in spirit. Jungkook once said that Taehyung feels everything very deeply. It wasn't just a comment, it was the truth. Taehyung carries emotions the way some people carry memories. Close, personal, and with full sincerity. Jimin once said that Taehyung gives his whole heart to whatever he does. And in this project you can see that heart in every shot, every expression, every moment. Namjoon always described him as an artist who creates from his soul. And this project became the perfect example of that description. Their words stayed with Taehyung in LA. They gave him strength when the work felt heavy. They gave him comfort when the silence felt too loud. They reminded him of who he is and why he creates. When HYBE finally confirmed the secret LA collaboration, the world understood why Taehyung had been so quiet. This project needed patience. It needed protection. It needed time to bloom into something that wasn't rushed or pushed or forced. The moment fans saw the first teaser, the reaction was instant. They felt the emotion. They felt the softness. They felt the weight in his eyes. They felt the sincerity in his posture. It wasn't just fashion. It wasn't just a brand. It wasn't just a project. It was Taehyung's heart, his feelings, his growth, his journey. This wasn't the V they knew from the stage. Charismatic, powerful, mesmerizing. This was Taehyung, the artist, the storyteller, the soul who feels everything deeply and expresses it in silence. In a world filled with noise, he chose to speak through quiet emotion. In a world filled with pressure, he chose to move gently and authentically. In a world that constantly pushes people to hurry, he chose to grow slowly and beautifully. His LA project became a reminder that art isn't loud. Art isn't rushed. Art doesn't need to shout to be heard. Sometimes the softest stories are the ones that touch the deepest parts of the heart. As the project neared completion, something changed in him. It was subtle but real. He looked more peaceful, more grounded, more connected to himself. He wasn't just creating a collaboration. He was creating a moment that would stay with fans for years. When the behind-the-scenes clips came out, fans saw the rawness, the vulnerability, the honesty in his expression. They saw a young man who had grown into an artist, a global icon, and a storyteller who didn't need words to move the world. This project is not just fashion, not just photography, not just art. It is a message from Taehyung to the people who love him. A message that says, I am still here, I am still growing, I am still creating, and my story is not over. Even now, as the world waits for the full release, one thing is clear. Taehyung didn't just work in Los Angeles. He left a piece of his soul there. a piece of his heart, wrapped inside every frame, every angle, every moment. And maybe that's why this project feels so emotional. 'Cause it is not just about beauty, it is about truth, emotion, growth, connection, and the journey of a young artist who continues to touch the world simply by being himself. So tell me, when you saw the teaser, when you saw his eyes, when you felt the emotion in every shot, did you feel it too?